you had mentioned, so the Barbie's a good one to start off with. Obviously, Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling, or in this case, the better alternative, me and Joe. But you said you were excited for this. Tell us what you've heard.
Only because I'm a huge Greta Gerwig fan.
Yeah,
I mean,
too.
Lady Bird was my number one a couple of years ago. I liked her Little Women. Not everybody did, but I liked it a lot. It gave us Florence Pugh also, who's done like a million things since then. I think she's smart. She lives with Noah Baumbach, and he makes good little movies. And I think they get together in a room and sort of cook up cool ideas. He's involved in this. And I absolutely adore Ryan Gosling in comedic roles. I thought he was unbelievably gifted comedically in La La Land in ways that people didn't even really talk about. They just said, well, he can't sing or dance. I think this could be great, or it could be her Speed Racer. This could be Greta Gerwig's like big jump into a huge Hollywood movie that they gave her too many colors in the Crayola box, and she just may have gone way over the top. I hope not. I get that it's supposed to be over the top. Barbie has left Barbie Land and now has to survive out in the real world, which sounds more like a Saturday Night Live sketch than a whole movie.
Yeah.
But,
well, Bill, what about the articles that had come out saying how originally the role, Margot Robbie, was supposed to be played by Amy Schumer?
Right.
Now, that would be a totally different movie.
And conceptually would be more interesting to me.
Yes, I agree.
Almost like Shallow Hal, where everybody sees her as gorgeous, or I don't know what the idea would have been, but the idea that Barbie wasn't perfect and now she is.
Yeah.
But I think what Gerwig has done with it, and what I'm sure Margot Robbie is doing, is I'm going to look perfect but not be perfect.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not a new idea in movies, but we'll see if they can.
Well, okay, my concern would be this. Like you, I think that this is a great idea, and I am looking forward to it with a big but. This is Barbie, and big Mattel is not going to let them have the kind of fun you and I would want with it.
That's a good point.
To have her in the real world. There's only so much you can do to the overall Barbie thing before they'll just say, put the kibosh on it. And so...
Although they allowed like a dozen Kens, like Ryan isn't the only one.
Yeah, but there's a lot of Kens, you know? I mean, that's in part and parcel with the Barbie universe, you know? There's a lot of Barbies, there's a lot of Kens. Right. But I think that if you really want some of that, you know, hard PG-13, borderline R stuff that would make it really good, I doubt Mattel would allow that.
Yeah, I think you're probably right about that, which means the humor has to all just be kind of PG-13, maybe soft R, and not this show at all.
Yeah.
Thank you for noticing. So that would be my only little asterisk on it, but I am looking forward. Now, we've got a bunch here. If there's one that all right, obviously... I highlighted, because I had not heard of this at all, I told it has not gotten good reviews so far. Hypnotic just came out, the Ben Affleck one. Maybe not bad reviews, but TMZ said it bombed.
It lost distributor. He's not directing. I hope everyone knows that Air, a far superior Ben Affleck movie with Matt Damon, is now free if you have Amazon, or it's streaming
I just watched
Amazon.
it 2 nights ago for free.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the best things he's done in a long time. And
so
I think the studio, whoever has this, it's called Catch Up Production. They like mustard and ketchup, actually picked the film up from somebody else who dropped it. I think it was originally just supposed to be streamed, and now they're capitalizing on the air, the fair air that's happening for Affleck, and also the fact that he's finally married again to J-Lo.
Yeah, no kidding.
They see a moment where they can jump in and put this things. This happens all the time, and I haven't seen it, and I'm not sure I need to.
What did you think
of Air?
Yeah.
I really liked Air, and I forget who said it, or I read it recently, but Ben Affleck, or maybe it was Gwyneth Paltrow in an interview. He's, I think, a better director than actor. I mean, he's playing this sort of weird CEO of Nike, but Matt Damon is a way better actor.
Yeah, I think
between the two. But yeah, as a director, I really enjoyed the film. What I really liked about the movie is that you know what happens. You know that Nike gets the contract. So if you're someone like me who often has anxiety about plot lines, you know what's going to happen. So you can really just enjoy all the little throwback references and costumes and hair and all of that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Well, and the meetings that with the people that didn't get it and how they screwed it up exactly the way Damon's character said it was going to happen. And
sure.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. We know how it ends, but we still enjoyed it. A lot of people have been complaining that there wasn't a Michael Jordan character in it except the back of that one guy or the arm of that. And that was a creative decision they made because they said nobody could step into his shoes the way the film was.
That's
so
brilliant.
I think they did the right thing there. I love that movie. I think it's going to be in my top 10 list.
Well, two things.
One that isn't, well, I had it up on the screen a little. It's Netflix's. This is the J-Lo movie that also dropped this weekend. Is number 1 on Netflix called The Mother, which is basically she's doing Charlize Theron in the Atomic Blonde kind of thing, where she's got a daughter that she has to go and this is the year of the troubled kid. The Affleck movie you just mentioned is about a father that has to go after his son who's been kidnapped by gangsters, and the exact same plot is J-Lo's The Mother, where she's kind of a badass that goes after some drug guys that have kidnapped her daughter. So lock your kids up this summer.
Yeah.
Searching for his missing daughter. Okay, that's not the one that I thought was based on a true story. The other thing, one other thing I would say about Air though is we know that Michael Jordan was a collaborator with it. I don't know to the extent. There are about 3 lines in that movie that are uttered by Michael Jordan. I am here to tell you that was Michael Jordan.
No, it was in fact. I think.
Oh, it was because it was uncredited.
Read the same thing.
It was uncredited, but. I have big ears, and so they hear good.
Cool to see Chris Tucker too, who is so funny. Haven't seen him in so long, and that was a nice push. But that movie is in the rearview mirror, and we are looking.
Yes, exactly. I'll tell you,
we're getting another Indiana Jones movie.
All right, let's go right to the goods. Of course, we've talked a lot about this. What have you heard? Your thoughts overall, and can we make a point of never even uttering the phrase Kingdom of the Crystal Skull? As far as I'm concerned, that is worse than any swear word ever.
He met his wife. That was the kind of the nice upside. That was Temple.
I don't want to marry. Fine. So all right, I'm sorry. I broke my own rule, but go ahead. Tell us everything.
No, Spielberg met his wife. I meant Kate Capshaw.
Oh, that was Temple of Doom.
Yeah. The most interesting thing about this is that he can't walk or talk, really. I mean, Harrison Ford is getting older, and he dials it up. I had this exact experience with Paul Newman on one of the last movies he made with Linda Fiorentino and Dylan McDermott. I went in to interview him. He was sitting there completely. I thought he was dead, and he was or sound asleep. And when the lights came on, he lit up like a Christmas tree, answered all of my questions, and then when the lights went off, came down. So this is exactly what I'm seeing from Harrison Ford these days. When asked to, when someone yells action, he's fine. This takes place in 1969. Indiana Jones has got a daughter. It's somehow involved with the Russians and the Nazis competing with us in the space program. It sounds like something Trump dreamt up. And it looks good. I mean, one of the most interesting things is that some of the scenes were done with that youthing CGI process, so that it really is Harrison Ford who read all those lines, but then they spent $50 or $60 million, or in The Irishman, it was $100 million. I think it's maybe gotten a little cheaper since then. They've learned how to do it. But they kind of deep faked him down to a younger Harrison Ford. If I were Harrison Ford, I would go in and do a recording booth and just say as many lines as possible and just let them make the movies that way going forward.
No kidding.
That's the big thing Hollywood's very concerned about, the whole AI thing. But like, he looks great in those scenes where he's being interrogated. I have high hopes for this because except for The Fabelmans, I think when Steven Spielberg is involved in a movie, it's always good. And I've heard that it's a little long, but that's the only knock on it.
So
and
what is
it at Cannes right now? I think it's going to get a screening in Cannes as we're sitting here.
So all right. So is Spielberg producing it then? Because I know it's a new director that it's not.
Yeah, no, he oversees everything, and hopefully it's good, because you don't want him going out on a bad, and I mean him by Harrison Ford. You don't want him embarrassing himself, and I don't think he would. So I think I think it's definitely worth seeing.
I like the Nazi element to the space program, because that is actually based on a true story. I mean, we did have the top scientists of the Nazis. We just sort of brought them on over to NASA. No one really talked about it. The main guy, I forget his name, like Von Braun or whatever it is, he was a high up there Nazi. And we just sort of forgot about that, and they were all parts of the program. And so there's a twist on that I like.
Well, that transitions perfectly into another true story that also involves the war, and that's the Oppenheimer thing that Christopher Nolan is doing. And I'm really looking forward to that, but I have a feeling that this one could be the big bomb. And here's why.
Joe can't read.
Oh, okay. It says big bomb.
He drew. It looks like a bomb. I get it.
And it has a little. Yeah, it did a little fuse and everything. Our graphics department works night and day for you people.
Yeah.
Look, the thing is, I love Christopher Nolan. I love Tenet. Tenet helped us come back to the movie theaters after COVID, and it looks like we're going to have more movies this summer at the theater, which is a headline I shouldn't have buried. We got a lot more product coming out this year. The thing with Oppenheimer is it's been done before in Fat Man and Little Boy. It's been done with the Manhattan Project. We know this story. When Christopher Nolan gets to take fake stories and make them seem real, like Tenet, it's cool. When he is required to make a historically accurate movie about how the atomic bomb was invented, I'm afraid he's going to go as deep diving into the minutia of stuff that's just going to leave everybody bored to tears. I hope not. I like Cillian Murphy. I like everybody that's in this thing, and I hope it does well. But I have a feeling it is not going to connect with audiences.
Well, on that note, did you not like Dunkirk? His only historical based movie, I believe, that he's done aside from this now. I loved it. I thought it was amazing.
I thought the three perspectives was really cool. Yeah. The three time frames was really interesting. That was almost like Inception. So actually, for my money, Christopher Nolan's worst movie was his first one that everybody loved, which was Memento, which just had this trick of going backwards. And if you had turned it around and put it forward, it wouldn't have been an interesting movie at all. So I felt like it survived on that kind of trick. Yeah. But people love that movie. So I'm not, don't send the hate mail to these two, not to me.
More hate mail? Stacks.
What movie are you most excited for this summer?
I knew you were going to ask that. And the truth is, what I'm looking forward to is something that isn't, and this is a cop-out answer, but I'll just warn you about that. It's something I haven't seen and don't know about yet. And what I mean by that is everything else is, Hollywood is a Xerox machine. It makes everything and remakes everything and franchises everything. Fast X is a perfect example of that. They tore up Rome so badly that Helen Mirren told me the other day they had to beg to be able to have the premiere there a few nights ago because they really tore it up. Anyway, and by the way, there's a perfect example of a franchise that absolutely is the exact same story every time. Vin Diesel going, there's some cars here, you got to take them over there. I mean, it's the same.
That's a decent impression.
Absolute.
Yeah, you forgot about him muttering about family the whole time. God, that's half the trailer.
Remember the thing? We're going back to the movies. So I don't know what I don't know. So I haven't seen the trailer of a little, but I'm going to tell you it's going to be a cool little movie like a Lady Bird or something that I don't expect at all, that I've gone to because I still like going to the theater to see movies. And in that way, I guess if I'm sort of excited about anything that everybody else is, it's the next Mission Impossible. I've seen so many he really does know how to deliver. Yeah. He's the billion-dollar man that brought us back into the theaters with Top Gun. We've seen that thing where he's in Norway or Sweden or somewhere going on that motorcycle off that thing, and then He did that 5 times or 6 times, even though they go the first time, good one, Tom. And he goes, well, what if I was just a little... So yeah, he still walks the walk of a movie star. So I guess I want to see the next, besides the little indie or the cool little surprise movie that I don't know about yet, I guess the next Mission Impossible, short of a James Bond, which we're not getting this to that.
Anything we didn't mention that you want to point out that maybe should be on our radar?
No, I think, look, the good news is there are about 20% more movies this year than there were last year. I think we're on track to get people back into theaters. I think that the window is growing larger during the pandemic. They were doing day and date a lot on HBO Max, on the Disney. They're putting Marvel movies up the same day. They're not doing that anymore. They know now we will, for the right reasons, go back for the right movies.
Right.
And so they're not. So I plead with everyone, if you see something that looks interesting, I know we've had 3 years of waiting at home until they can watch it on the couch, but go have the community experience that we're supposed to have. If it looks good, go see it in the theater with other people.
I will see you that and raise you this. I'm glad you liked Air. I think you would have loved it even more if you saw it in the theater.
I don't know. When I go to the movie theater, especially with my husband, he has pretty, not bad, but like he has ADHD. So if someone next to him is talking or sniffing or coughing, he gets so frustrated. He's one of those people who's like, we'll turn and say something like, could you quiet down? And then I get all like embarrassed. And, I don't like people is what I'm trying to say. So going to the theater, I prefer when they're empty.
Well, here in the Hamptons, we do it a little differently because the people out here are so wealthy. I don't, but they actually, in the home theaters, and they have these giant IMAX screens in their homes, they hire a family with a crying baby to sit in front of them actually at their house. So they have the exact same
authentic experience. Yeah. No, but surely, if you do go to the movies, people, put your phone away. Just for the 2 hours.
Amen to that.
Just put it away. You don't need to look at it. Put it on airplane mode. Like, have a moment to just relax and enjoy some cinema, because that is also annoying to me when people take the phones out.
Well, let me tell you, Bill, we got to have you back on when the TriCaster is working, because we have a segment called Joanne for statements exactly like she just made right there. And it's basically her as a grandma. Just
Be
a golden girl.
respectful.
Well, listen.